When Prime Video asked us to come up with some analysis on their fantastic superhero series, The Boys, there were too many glorious anti-heroes and scumbags to choose from. Whilst characters like Homelander evoke Captain America and Superman on a performative level, Annie January aka Starlight aka the Defender of Des Moines is the real deal. Like those comic book characters, her defining trait is her inherent sense of moral duty.
You are literally the nicest person in the city. No, seriously, every other nice person can fuck off and go home.
She isn't pretending to improve her reputation and make a lucrative career out of her superhero exploits, she's a true hero. In a cynical universe like the one in The Boys, where we ponder what superheroes might really be like in our world, Starlight comes in with a kind of giddy optimism and wholesome superhero goodness that's found in the pages of traditional superhero comics and films. And like the good captain in his respective solo movies, The Winter Soldier and Civil War, Annie's perspective on what is right and just is tested by truths and revelations that challenge everything she has been led to believe. It is her strength in the face of such challenges which proves she is a true superhero. When we first meet Annie, we see her framed through a camera, signifying right from the start of the series that cameras, media and PR will act as the middleman between the world's perception of Starlight and the true superhero behind the cameras.
At the Q&A, they always asked me what my wish was, and I always said to save the world. And the judges just chuckled, like it was cute, but it wasn't a joke to me.
Annie and her mother Donna talk about joining the Seven akin to a pop star talent competition. In the world of The Boys, joining the Seven and becoming a superstar with the opportunities to seek out fame and fortune are one and the same. This kind of ties into the idea of the superhero team as the Seven, its title of course restricting its membership to a finite elite, a number that can never change. So joining the Seven is less like joining the Justice League or the Avengers, teams that are constantly growing and changing, and more like joining a super exclusive and lucrative pop band.
I used to stand in the mirror, pretending to be where I am right now.
At first, the Deep appears to be every bit the saviour Annie grew up admiring, but reality quickly crashes down around her when the Deep shows his true colours.
Whoa, hey, wait. It's just a question of how bad you want to be in the Seven.
He blackmails her, suggesting that his position within the superhero team means he can have her fired on a whim should she not indulge him. Annie is made to feel like saying no would jeopardise all of her dreams and the life her mother wanted for her. Once again, the parallels to the entertainment industry are clear. Annie's story reflects the sobering reality that a whole host of actors, pop stars and many more have had to face in those industries, pressured by people within positions of power into sexual favours, their careers often wagered as forfeit should they refuse to comply. This scene marks a major turning point for Annie's story. It serves as the first instance in which the false narrative of the superhero in the Boys universe is deconstructed. The first person she meets following the Deep's sexual assault is Queen Maeve, one of her personal idols. Maeve doesn't appear to be surprised to find Annie in such a distraught state, and instead of consoling her, she scolds the hero.
Oh, for Christ's sakes, clean yourself up. Never let them see you like this.
In her formative crime-fighting days, Annie looked up to Maeve, but here she learns the old adage, never meet your heroes, is true for good reason.
But hey, as long as you're trending, right?
I know that you might not get this, but it's not an act.
Maeve can't understand why or how Starlight's actions are the honest truth, and not something pre-packaged by Vought. She's forgotten who she is.
Because you didn't just break all the bones in your right arm stopping that school bus from falling off of a bridge, but you also went to every kid's physical therapy afterwards. Just to show the world that they were heroes too. You really stood for something. Now, pretty sure that was just written by the marketing guys.
We come to understand that Maeve and Annie are two sides of the same coin, two people with the same inner strength, the same will to help others, except Maeve's experiences have long since left her ruthless and cold. Maeve has made her life in the Seven, committing atrocities and unspeakable cover-ups, bearable by shutting down everything that could hurt.
Everyone always asks, what's our special weakness? Gamma rays, iron daggers, some ridiculous, stupid thing. The truth is, our weakness is the same as anyone's. It's people. the people we care about.
But Starlight won't bend to Maeve's way of seeing the world no matter what happens, and even manages to conjure something in her idol that she has not felt or fought for in a very long time. In episode 7, The Self-Preservation Society, Maeve is the only one who stands up for Starlight against the biggest threat in the whole show, Black Noir, Homelander. She feels genuine remorse for the botched rescue of Flight 137. She even manages to reveal the truth about the bus crash that defined her career.
I really did break every bone in my right arm.
What?
Stopping the bus from falling? You said the marketing guys made it up.
As it turns out, it was true, only making it even more tragic to see how far Queen Maeve has fallen from the optimistic, truthful superhero image of her youth. Maeve shows Annie that it's not just civilians that need saving. Even though the warrior soup has a long way to go to redeem herself, I expect Annie's unwavering heart will no doubt continue to affect her in season 2. In episode 5, Good for the Soul, Annie attends the Christian Believe Expo, where she is reunited with her mother and other familiar faces from her religious upbringing.
These people are like family to me. After everything that's happened, it's really nice to see them again.
This gives Annie a chance to reconnect with her past and ground herself with some sense of comforting familiarity. Instead, it only serves to cement her disillusionment with the power structures she serves.
Well, Jesus also says to love your neighbor.
But if you love your neighbor, don't you want to save them from damnation?
And gives her cause to think on the importance of truth once more.
You know, I think everyone hopes that their first is the one. And it's private, but I'm a virgin.
I really thought that being here would feel like it used to, but it doesn't. It's changed, or maybe I've changed.
So when Annie is given the spotlight, she doesn't hesitate to call out the manufactured pretense of the superhero myth.
Every single word that I say up here, I'm reading from a script. I didn't write any of these words. I don't even know if I believe in them.
For the first time, Annie stands up to her mother, albeit in an indirect manner.
You have no idea what you're really asking. You have no idea what I've been through.
She doesn't mince any words, she goes public with the Deep's transgressions.
What's immoral is the guy who shoved his dick in my face.
And strips away the artifice of her all-American religious image merely by being open and honest about her own vulnerabilities and woes.
And I know, I'm supposed to be this hero, idol, symbol, whatever, but I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Following her speech at the Believe Expo, Annie's power within Vought shifts.
And I think that firing an employee after she reported sexual assault on live TV might tank your stock price.
Vaught's weakness is just the same as any of their soups. Their reputation matters, and Starlight uses that as leverage to gain some of her autonomy back.
I'm sorry.
I mean, I don't mean to be ungrateful, but no red carpets, no reality TV, and no Noxema commercials.
Their reputation matters, and Starlight uses it as leverage to gain some of her autonomy back. The public's perception of Starlight and her story directly affects the image of Vought and the Seven. In any other situation, Stillwell would hold all the cards. But here, she bears the brunt of a paradigm shift and is forced to act accordingly to maintain control. The Deep is promptly ousted by Stillwell to save face, kicked off the Seven indefinitely under the guise of a sabbatical in Sandusky. Other people are unexpectedly burnt by Annie's actions. It is of course not her fault that Ashley is fired, but she is made to feel that it is.
You are a selfish, arrogant child.
However, even though the perpetrator is punished, the structures in place that allowed the Deep to do what he did remain, and it is those at the top, such as Stillwell, who continue to thrive off of these structures and find new, inventive ways to put people in their place.
This small-town girl next door wanted to change the world.
Since when did hopeful and naive become the same thing?
But the world had other plans.
Starlight, I hope you can forgive me.
Battered and beaten, a phoenix rose from the ashes with a message so loud, so raw, it couldn't come forth as anything less than a roar.
By using the same marketing methods, they take Starlight's moment of defiance and spin a narrative to suit their own ends. Even rebelling against Vought ultimately entangles Annie further into their web. The house always wins. Thus, The Boys demonstrates that even speaking the truth is often a way for corporations to simply readjust and fight smarter to acquire your all-important cash. But there has been one person who has remained by her side through thick and thin.
Excuse me.
Huey and Annie meet at a time when both of them have had everything they were taught to believe ripped out from underneath them. Both of them are treated as pawns by their leaders, and in some way or another feel used by the systems that have placed them in their given scenarios. They fall for each other because both of them represent an escape from Vought and the boys respectively.
I don't know if they really want you to be a hero. I think they just want you to look like one. Did you kill Translucent?
It's not that simple.
Huey might not want to exploit Starlight to destroy Vought, but his actions still cause her a great deal of pain and breaks their trust.
And you haven't been using me to get back at A-Train?
In many ways, Huey becomes the last vestige of truth in Annie's life, the last thing that is yet to be tainted by Vaught's greed.
You were the only thing, Huey. You were the only thing that I could count.
So when even he turns out to be a deceiver with his own agenda, albeit for a good cause, Annie has nothing left. Except, at least, her origin story. She can take some solace in the fact that she knows who she is, because she knows where she came from, right?
What's Compound V?
In our Homelander video, we noted that comic book writer Marv Wolfman saw Superman's origins as paramount to viewing who he truly is as a person. The superhero origin story is usually the point in a hero's story where they change the most, and arguably overcome the biggest adversity by embracing their new life and role as a superhero leading a double life. So to corrupt Annie's perfect idea of her humble, wholesome origins is the ultimate blow to everything she believes in.
It's this drug. It gives the Supes their powers. Vought will do anything to cover it up.
No, what are you talking about?
Huey's revelation is earth-shattering. If nothing else, Starlight's faith still rests with her mother, even when she has let her down time and time again. But this brings everything she has ever said, any ounce of love she has ever shown for her daughter, into doubt. Throughout the series, Annie's mother, Donna, manages to keep her spirits up and reaffirms Annie's faith in what she knows to be true.
You're Starlight of the Seven. Millions of kids are looking up to you now. You're a shining light to them.
How am I supposed to live up to that?
Because that's the way God made you. You're a miracle.
Even when Annie knows in her heart that she has been let down or didn't get the support she needed, she still views her mother as a pillar of stability and reason in her world. But in actuality, like pushy parents of child stars and pop star hopefuls on talent shows, Annie's mother has really always made it about herself.
Mom, I gotta tell you what happened.
Oh, I forgot. I was playing Mahjong with Patty and Trish, and Patty is going on and on about how her daughter got into med school, and I'm thinking, so what? My daughter got into the Seven. All my friends are going to be watching on TV. Please.
Only now, following the truth of her origin story, does Annie start to realise this.
You made me think that I was chosen by God.
You were! God brought Vought into our lives. He made this possible.
Bullshit! You did! And then you controlled every single minute of it.
Homelander has no parents, no one to love him, and that wreaked untold havoc upon his well-being into adulthood. Annie is the flip side to this, the result of a parent who loved too much and wanted everything for a little girl, if only at the expense of her being truly happy and autonomous.
This was our dream.
This was your dream! I never got a chance to choose my own dreams. No wonder I don't know who the fuck I'm supposed to be! Annie!
Much like Homelander, Annie undergoes a spiritual journey whereby both characters come to understand the people that have claimed to love and care for them have really always been controlling them for their own ends. It brings them frustration, heartache, and arguably enough cause to enact some sort of cathartic vengeance on Vought and everyone who ever wronged them. But Annie is no Homelander.
I mean, why the hell would I ever help you?
Because Vaught's up to some evil shit? Because it's your job? Because you're a superhero.
Really?
Hughie may have done the wrong thing in lying to Annie, but she knows that bigger evils are at play here and saves him along with Frenchie and Mother's Milk. It's a move that risks revealing her true intentions to Vought and the Seven, but truly, all she cares about is the safety of the civilians it is her duty to rescue. Unlike the other members of the Seven, Starlight doesn't rely on her reputation. She helps Hughie knowing full well it might cost her everything, including her place in the Seven. She doesn't care. Because she does not hold this same weakness, she could end up being the show's most powerful player. It remains to be seen if A-Train will tell Vought and the Seven of Annie's rebellion in Season 2, but if the trailers are anything to go by, it seems Starlight's place in the Seven is safe, for now. Annie is probably my favourite character in the show. Believe me, that's no small feat, if only because she's its biggest outlier. In a world of greedy, selfish, superpowered assholes, and volatile corporate cretins, and morally dubious anti-heroes, the Defender of Des Moines feels like the kind of honest, optimistic crime fighter you'd find in the pages of a classic comic book. She proves that the show is more than just unyielding cynicism. Yeah, if heroes existed in our world, they probably would be closer to the Seven than the Avengers. These people would face the same corrupting incentives that we know come hand in hand with power and celebrity. But that doesn't mean that light doesn't exist, that people can't be more, that it isn't impossible to bat away the pressures of big business and greedy schemers, and embrace who you really are.
You can.
Like you said, I'm a fucking superhero.
Starlight faces trauma and tragedy just like the others, but instead of becoming cold, or self-serving, or blaming her failures on others, she merely reinforces the person she always knew she had the power to be. She might be a little more world-weary, a little less naive, and a hell of a lot tougher, but inside Annie is still the same superhero that defended the Midwest for as long as she can remember. I believe Annie is the key to overthrowing this whole crazy tapestry of corruption. Unlike the boys, she's been able to keep her hands clean, and she's one of the only people, super or otherwise, that has the potential to stand up to Homelander and the rest of Vaught's most powerful players. It's a tragedy that Homelander could never be the Superman the world needed, but it turns out the world already has one.